There are certain things that are always associated with Hong Kong, icons of the city. Red taxi cabs, the HSBC building, buskers playing erhu, crowds of tourists, the big wheel, that amazing skyline. But perhaps the most enjoyable Hong Kong icon, at least from a food lover's perspective, is what could be called Hong Kong's national dish, dim sum. This is Food Wonder. Join me as I seek out the city's most interesting meals and discover how they play a part in Hong Kong culture today.
Hi there and welcome to this episode of Food Wonder. My name's James Durston. I'm an Englishman and I've been living in Hong Kong for about 8 years now. When I first arrived, one of the first things I did was I went to a dim sum or yum cha restaurant. Unfortunately, I was brand new, didn't know anything about the city or especially the etiquette involved in eating dim sum, but I've learnt a lot of things since then. So I'm going to tell you my best rules for eating dim sum like a local. First, we've got to go to my very favourite restaurant to eat the yum cha. So let's go.
Every day, thousands of people cram into noisy restaurants to gulp down this lunchtime staple. Tables tremble under the weight of steaming bamboo baskets, stacked one upon another to create towers reaching up to the heaven.
But if you've never sampled this delight before, what do you need to know? Here are 5 rules on how to eat dim sum or yum cha like a local. So rule number 1. First of all, dim sum is not just about the food, it's also about the tea. Yum cha also means drinking tea. And one of the first things to realise is pouring tea should always be done for others before you pour yourself. And once you've received a cup of tea from the pourer, you tap 2 fingers to the table to say thank you. Rule number 2, washing the utensils. Some of these utensils, chopsticks, spoons and bowls might not be as clean as you would like them to be. So use the hot water provided and a bowl to make sure they're as clean as you would like them. Rule number 3, ordering food. Now this is why I brought you to this particular restaurant. They still serve their food here out of rolling trolleys pushed around by the wait staff. It's one of the only places in Hong Kong that still uses this old traditional method. Most of the places here give you a menu and you have to tick off the items on that. So chicken feet are one of those things that we in the West don't eat very often. I'm going to try it now. I imagine it's going to be quite gristly, but let's see. Slimy, bony, quite gristly, I was right. But pretty tasty actually, pretty good. I'm going to have another one. Rule number 4, sharing's caring when it comes to dim sum. All the dishes on the table can be shared by either splitting them apart with chopsticks in their dishes, or in the case of the steamed pork bun, also known as char siu bao, you can pull it apart with your fingers, just like this. Well, that was a feast. I am stuffed. I need to go home for a nap. But before we do that, we get to rule number 5 on how to eat dim sum like a local, ordering the check. The simple way to do it is you point your finger down at the table, sum it all up, and say the word for check. Mai dan am goi. Well, thanks so much for joining me for lunch this episode of Food Wonder. I had a great time. That was delicious. I hope those tips serve you well and you're not stuck like me when you next go out for dim sum wondering what to do. I'll see you next time on Food Wonder, I hope. Bye bye for now.